Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Get real. Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Reality Spirituality. Yes, she was gone for a little bit. Yes, the last month I've been traveling back and forth to San Diego, Boston. But let me tell you, oh, and by the way, got COVID. That's right. You know, the interesting thing about this life, and I am, if you listen to the show, you know when I feel like I'm shot out of a cannon. I have so much to share. The interesting thing about this life, it is a ride. It's a roller coaster ride. It's a ride on a wave. It's up, it's down, it's all around. But the question comes. The question is, how are you on the ride? Are you nervous? Are you fearful? Are you distrusting? Are you wish something would be different? When I say, let me just, if you haven't even introduced myself, I'm Rebecca L. Norrington, Global Happiness Specialist and Inner Peace Practitioner. And what that means is that I practice and I share what I practice. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I definitely have the answers for me. I definitely have the answers that lead me to experience more inner peace, regardless of what happens, regardless of the trip, regardless of the COVID, regardless of the finances, regardless of the relationships, regardless of the emotions, regardless of the stories. You know those stories that your ego has that only has one way of looking at something? You know you're in trouble when all you have is a story, and you can only come up with one perspective. That's a practice, being able to have multiple perspectives with one challenge, one issue. In other words, rewrite the story, tell a different story. But no, the programming is, and you're going to hear a lot about program, because the battle is not what happens to you. The battle is the programming. The battle is the brainwashing. The battle is the conditioning of what you are supposed to feel, supposed to believe. You know, I haven't told a lot of people that I had COVID, but the people that I did over Zoom or over whatever meeting, it is the same reaction. It's the same programmed reaction. I'm fighting the programming. One of the things that, don't get me started. I know the topic is this. Don't get me started with this legacy, leaving a legacy thing. Don't get me started with that. That's just another extension of the ego. Wanting to have a legacy, and the ego is not even going to be around. So, I know I'm starting off fast. I've got to take a couple of deep breaths. This topic is just so passionate. I'm just so passionate about it because I see so many people spinning their wheels and being miserable, and they don't have to. This life is very simple. But let me just get back to the beginning. and give a proper introduction. one of the very famous studies that was done, her name is, she was a hospice nurse. Her name was Bronnie, spelled B-R-O-N-N-I-E, Ware. Bronnie Ware, you can look it up. And she interviewed her patients. Now, these are people that know that they're dying within a week, within 2 weeks, within a month, within 6 months. If you've listened to the show, you know I had 2 of my friends here in Oregon. The last 6 months, they both were given 6 months or less to live. They're both gone now. Both of them died. Both of them died probably within 2 to 3 weeks of each other. That's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate, people. The time that we have here is very precious. So how are you going to spend it? How are you going to spend the time that you have here on the planet? Worrying, distrusting, living in fear, looking at the world and finding fault, looking at others, getting in other people's business and making judgments. All of those things are going to subtract from your own peace and your happiness. Why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot? You have a limited amount of time here. I know the programming. I know what the programming says. Do, desire. What do you want? What do you want? I was in a brief meeting with a group of people, very well-meaning, of course. What is your desire? And of course, maybe 80%. I want money, more money, millions of dollars. Listen, that's fine. But don't think that having things or accomplishing anything is going to give you any deep satisfaction. The satisfaction I'm talking about is internal. The satisfaction I'm talking about has nothing to do with what happens to you or doesn't happen. This last month, it has been a whirlwind, and a whirlwind from getting stranded in Portland for 3 hours because I paid someone to drive me back to the little town I live in, and of course, ripped off, no show, bonds. What did I learn from that? So whenever you're challenged, whenever life throws challenges at you, and you know, if you're like me, it's a lot. It's all the time. You ask yourself the same questions. What are you going to learn from this? What are you going to learn about self? How are you going to grow from this? I always give the same analogy, and I love this analogy. Is an elephant bothered by a gnat on its back? Is an elephant bothered by a flea on its back? The answer is no. So it's really up to you to grow to a place, in other words, be conscious and have growth as a goal, personal growth or not. Personal growth, expanding consciousness, more awareness. But the problem with that is it's not celebrated. Growing and being something different, doing something different than you did yesterday is not celebrated. I'm here to celebrate it because that is one key components to more peace is your growth. Being something, doing something that you didn't do 6 years ago. Growth is peace. Let me get back to happiness. You know, when I talk about being a happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, it's the same thing. This happiness is a vibration. It's a peace. It's a vibration of peace. It's a vibration of contentment. It's a vibration of satisfaction. And this world does not celebrate or sell satisfaction. And in fact, what sells is dissatisfaction in this world. From, the sex, the fame, the money, the drama, and dissatisfaction sells. Who is going to tell you, you know what, relax. Be okay in this moment. have a vibration of contentment in this moment. I'm not talking about don't do anything, don't take action, but what about that vibration of satisfaction in the moment? What about vibrating a chill, a balance, along with the action? I was talking to someone again this week, and it was interesting because they tell the story very quickly about how successful they were, and of course success equals money. How successful they were, and in fact, it's so easy to make money. I grew up in a entrepreneurial family. I know how to make money. I mean, hey, but something happened, and so they were stopped in their tracks. They were stopped, and they realized that all the success that they had, they weren't happy. How many times have you heard those stories? How many times have you heard that what somebody accomplishes has nothing to do with their vibration of peace? Nothing. But no, we're told it is shown that accomplish this, get that, so you can be happy. And I'm here to tell you that's the beginning, the start. The start. For me, I'm on that finding peace, practicing the behaviors that add to happiness and eliminating the program behaviors that subtract. That's number one. Then I can tackle anything else. I can do anything else. These judgments about what you're doing and not doing enough and comparing yourself to others. You know, one of the things, oh my goodness, and I really, really like this guy. I really like his nature, his demeanor, his compassion. He comes across as a really nice, caring person. Very, very, you could feel the vibration. And one of the things that was posted a couple of weeks ago, which, oh boy, whoo! It was the quote was, "A beautiful life." What is I know I'm getting off track. What a beautiful life consists of. A beautiful life. Now, this is one story from one perspective, and a beautiful life is reading books, taking walks in nature, eating organic food simply prepared, having meaningful conversations with other people, connecting with other people, and, of course, service to others. That's what constitutes a beautiful life. Really? Well, what if you're in prison for 27 years, Nelson Mandela? Then what? See, I'm so bothered by this program of what a beautiful life is. A beautiful life, a peaceful life, and that might be a beautiful life for them or for him or for her. But I'm here to tell you, what about those people that are not able to take beautiful walks in nature, eat simple foods, and are in a prison cell? Then what? What's your answer to that? What I share on this show, Reality Spirituality, is how to be at peace regardless of your health, of your finances, of the state of the world that you see there's something wrong with it. You know, I look out, I see all the fear going on. I see the masses being afraid. I get that. But guess what? The plan is bigger than what I can see in this present moment. The divine plan is bigger than what I can comprehend in this moment. This present moment isn't all that there is. You know, the dinosaurs had to be eliminated, extinct before man could even come to the planet. What? Before man, we couldn't live there with dinosaurs. That's billions of years ago. The divine plan, and I use the term universe, the universe's plan is so intricate. How am I taking a speck? How am I taking a moment, a solitary moment on this particular day to find fault, to find something wrong with a bigger plan? It's the programming. Let me give you my definition of happiness, especially for those people that are just tuning in for the first time. My definition of happiness is the ability to be at peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. The ability to be at peace without the stories. The ability to be at peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. I know I've been a victim to the stories for decades, thinking that my stories are true, thinking that the reason why that I have shame is because A, B, C, or D. What if the evolution, the expansion of my journey is more than my little pea brain can come up with? The story of, I'm really letting go of these stories. I'm really letting go of, with anytime you say the word because or why, you know that you're in a story. Can I get to the topic of the show? Lord. So anyway, the definition of happiness is the ability to be at peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. And also on this show, on the scale of 1 to 10, I want to ask you, my dear audience, how important is happiness in your life? Now, a lot of people will give me an 8, a 5, a 10, but that is an individual answer that only you can determine what is important. And you think about it. I had someone tell me this week, happy, sometimes you get a little too happy. Yeah, and then you're happy, then you want more happy. What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking about an inner peace, regardless of what happens. And you can tell the people that are not peaceful. You can tell. It's easily angered, easily to judge, easily to point the finger, easily to argue, easily to take things personally. Oh, it's personal. Easy to go back and forth. My question to you, my dear audience, is are you as content, are you as happy when you're faced with these challenges? Can other people hurt your feelings? Can other people offend you? Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel? And do you blame your circumstances for how you're feeling? Let me get right into the topic. I can't believe I'm talking. I haven't even gotten to the topic. But if you know me. Woo! She shot out of a cannon today. My challenge to you is, whatever your story is, whatever that story that you've been recycling over and over and over, the one that you're dragging from past decades and dragging into your present moment, and you keep dragging it into your present moment, especially if that story is challenging to you, or especially if that story doesn't have a vibration of peace, can you practice changing that story? Now, your ego isn't going to like it. Your ego is going to want you to hold on to that story for dear life and regurgitate it and tell it over and over and over again. I was talking to someone this week, and she kept talking about the same stories. I said, it's like going to a dumpster. You're going to a dumpster, you put all this stuff in the dumpster, and you're going there and you're looking through the dumpster and you drag it out. All that stuff is not serving you, but you keep going back to the dumpster and talking about yesterday over and over and over and over again, and it doesn't feel good to you, but you keep doing it. Programmed to feel bad. Programmed to have something to feel bad about. programmed to have something to feel bad about. If there's nothing to feel bad about on the stove, hey, we gotta start a new. We gotta get a pot out and put some feel bad crap in there. Nothing to feel bad about. And let me say this: there's nothing wrong with feeling bad, but the continual diet of feeling bad, of drama, of distrusting, of finding fault with. Aren't you tired? Aren't you sick of eating that day after day? Ugh. Let me get that. Oh, geez, now I forgot my topic. My topic is these vision boards. Let me just start. Before I do that, let me also say this. Happiness is a practice skill. It's a practice skill like any other skill. So when I say it's a practice skill, it's up to you to commit to the practice. And the more you commit to the practice, the better results, just like anything else. And the first part of the practice starts with gradually eliminating behaviors that have been proven to subtract from happiness. And then the second part of the practice is cultivating behaviors that have been established to add to happiness. Let me get back to the truth here, because I know the topic. Now I had a topic about the vision board, and here we go. The reality of truth. Truth has an existence. And I got this from David Hawkins. I was watching a David Hawkings video on YouTube. And it was very short, and it said, truth has an existence. Your body goes strong. You can feel the truth. Falsehood is not the opposite of truth. Falsehood is the absence of truth. I just love that, so I had to share that. Falsehood is not the opposite of truth. Falsehood is the absence of truth. So let me hit you with some truth right now. Let's talk about these vision boards. Let's talk about manifesting something. Manifesting vision boards. I've heard it. Come on. Vision board. Oh, I've even heard people tell me I'm really good at manifesting things. Oh, really? I'm really good. And if there's one thing that bothers me is the absence of the truth. I'm great at manifesting. Really? Well, these vision boards and manifesting something. Let me take a deep breath here. Let me just take a deep breath. And thank you if you're still with me. Because I know the first part of the show you've heard before, but here we go with the with the topic. After 20 minutes, I get to the topic. That's okay. This notion of manifesting and vision boards, when do you see anybody? You know, the thing that's interesting is that the vision boards, the houses, the cars, the jobs, the trips, the money, whatever, only can be bought with money. What about the vision to eradicate COVID? What about the vision? Why aren't we manifesting the cure for cancer? Why aren't we manifesting a new planet? Why can't we visualize and manifest a tree falling down? Why is it everything that we can visualize on the vision board is about things that anyone can buy? All you have to do is have money to buy a house or on a hill. Why can't we visualize and manifest a whole new planet? Why can't we visualize and manifest a cure for, I don't know, what's going on right now? Let's see. Coronavirus? Where's your vision board with that? How about visualizing and manifesting an end of fear? How about that? No, the people with the vision boards can only visualize and manifest something that someone else can purchase, someone can buy. I know it's a big. I know I'm talking against the grain here. I know I'm bucking the system, but I don't see anybody visualizing. Why don't you manifest yourself 5 inches taller? Can you visualize that one? Can you manifest that? I am not. I do not believe that. Let me be nice. Hold on. Let me take a deep breath and let me be nice. To all you vision board people out there, I know I don't have any friends anyway. But visualize a new moon. Manifest a star. Manifest a new species that's going to eradicate disease in the human race. Visualize that one. Manifest that. No, the thing that the programming is, I can manifest, I can visualize anything money can buy. Well, I'm not impressed. And that's a big crock. You can't manifest the planet. You can't make a tree fall. You can't eradicate the coronavirus. You can't visualize fear off the planet. I don't want to hear it. Sorry. Not sorry. Whew. You know, the other thing is, which is I've come to this conclusion, the universe, and I use the term universe, some people say God, the universe really is laughing at, well, I don't know if they're really laughing, but this is how I visualize, this is what I see. I see the universe laughing at all of the buy-ins, of the buy-in of this ego, the ego that tells me that, or tells the masses that, yes, I'm making something happen, or I'm not making something happen. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm not going to take credit for anything that's happening, and I'm not going to take the blame for anything that's happening. I'm going to be cool and accepting and surrendering to all of it. There's so many things going on inside my body, your body. I'm not making anything happen. I'm not making my hand open and close, open and close. Oh, I'm making my hand open and close involuntarily. I didn't choose any of this, but my ego will have me believe that I have some kind of input, that I have some kind of choice. I'm not going to be cheering when I'm doing good, and I'm not going to be booing when I'm doing the opposite. The order of the journey, and all these people that come, let me just speak for myself, and all these people that come in and out of my life, there's a purpose for all of them. There's a purpose for where I'm living. There's a purpose for where I'm not living. There's a purpose for these people with customer service that, if you listen to the show, you know that, oh, God, customer service, I got to call. And then the constant, you can't get a real person on. You can't get a real person, a live person, not too often anymore. And, oh, boy, that bothers my ego. Oh, it bothers it. And the thing is, I'm going to stop that too, meaning stop judging that's bothering me. The volcano erupts when it's time to erupt. Our emotions change from one moment to the next, from an afternoon to an evening, or even sooner than that, from the top of the hour to the end of the hour. The challenge is being okay with all of it. The challenge is acceptance of everything that happens, because it's a bigger plan. Who am I to look at You know, let me just tell this really quick story. This was just a couple of days ago. I was talking to one of my neighbors, and animal lover. You know, it's so interesting. These people. These people, they're animal lovers. These people that are environmental rights activists, from the organic people, the people eat meat, people don't eat meat, all of it. You know, there's these causes, these thinking that what they think is important should be important for everyone. You know those people. The people that say that, well, you shouldn't watch TV, or the people that say, well, you know, in other words, make a judgment about your life, what you're doing, why you're doing it. I'm here to tell you, I'm accepting everything that you all are doing. I don't care what it looks like. Whatever you're doing, I'm okay with it because the universe accepts it. The universe accepts what you're doing. The sun shines on the serial killer and the Pope. The universe accepts what's happening. The universe has the ability to, it's not just this small moment. And it's not this small moment. It's a bigger plan, incomprehensible plan. My best friend, he was telling me, he was talking about legacy, and you know, we go back and forth with this, not back and forth, but he shares with me, you know, this thing about having a legacy, and he voiced his. He says, you know, when my daughter was younger, he says, when I was younger, there wasn't anyone who didn't know about, celebrate, learn about, study about, tested about Martin Luther King. I mean, we all know the civil rights activists, especially of my generation. Yes. And he said that, and he's talking about his daughter. And he says, you know, she has no concept. He says, I would have bet money that this legacy, that this person who accomplished so much, but your people. Okay, I'm backing up. Let me back up to this. This was the example that he gave. He said George Washington. George Washington is a great man, father of the country. People followed him. People, you know, revered him as a great leader. Now he's a cartoon character. Back to, and I know I'm jumping back from the legacy back to the visual vision boards, but it's this legacy thing is ego manufactured. What I do, what I share on this show, that's just for this moment. It's for this moment. My ego wants me to, and even the second book that I'm writing, I'm writing it because I'm inspired to put down on paper what I have in my head. Nothing more. Oh, I'm changing the world. People are going to be happier. People are going to be, no. The trap of following, the trap of believing that the ego is greater, is going to making something happen, I'm over it. I'm not making anything in my body I'm not making my insides of my body. Chemical reaction, more melatonin, not enough serotonin, vitamin D levels. I know I'm just going off now, off in a tangent. I'm not making any of that happen. And the notion of yes, I'm assisting with the orbit of the earth. I'm assisting. I'm going to leave this place better than what I found it. It's all ego too. I'm living my life. I'm sharing what I've learned. I feel the difference between who I used to be, what I used to focus on, my other old perspectives, and now this ability to know and feel the truth. Listen, if you listen to the show, you know I've been here in the middle of the forest for over 4 years now. Guess what? It's time to do something else. I can feel it. It's time to move somewhere else. Why? I'm not going to pretend to know. I'm not, and I don't ask. But the connection, your personal connection, your personal relationship with the universe, your personal relationship with the entity you call God, Spirit, higher power source, whatever you want to call it, that is the focus. That relationship is going to determine how much peace you feel. You know if you're peaceful. You know if inside you're at peace, and you know when you're not. I vote for more of those moments at peace than not. And what can I do, and how can I be open enough to experience that? I ask every day. That's why the program is really the culprit. It's not what happens, it's what you think about, it's what you believe, it's your beliefs, your judgments about what happens and why it's happening. Go for your vision boards. I'm here to tell you. If you can't manifest or can't visualize and come and manifest a new planet, I don't want to hear about it. If all you can visualize and manifest is something that anybody can buy, great. Selling dissatisfaction to the masses. Selling dissatisfaction to the masses. If I didn't think everything was in order, I would say is a crime. Because people are easily led. People are easily led. I know the carrots. The carrots. Where are the goals of having internal peace? Where is that intention? And you know this other thing about serving others? Let me throw that out there too. This is really going to be unpopular. This is really going to be unpopular. Serving others, service to others, is another programming. And I totally get it. I get it. If what I do or share causes someone to say, wow, I never thought about it like that, that's it. That's it. My purpose on this planet is to be open to more consciousness and self-awareness than I can possibly experience, that I can possibly stand. More self-awareness, more consciousness, more growth, more being okay with uncertainty, more trust, more letting go, more embracing the moment, more peace in the mirror. And then just sharing how. If you follow, well, let's see, I posted this on my public page, Reality Spirituality, a moment in the life of a toxic, selfish, delusional, and unimportant happiness specialist. Yeah, I was called all of those names, called all of those labels. And the practice, the interesting thing is, nothing that was said to me or about me had any effect at all. That's a practice. I was amazed and overwhelmed with how the programming of the masses is so strong. However, when you practice and you choose to practice, going back to being that person that was born, that 1-year-old, that 2-year-old, going back to that, the truth of who you are, the truth of who you are without the programming. That's where I'm choosing to live, in that space. The space of that 1-year-old, that 2-year-old, that 3-year-old that's curious, that's open, that can't be insulted, that can't hurt your feelings. I mean, quite frankly, when a child is born, it doesn't matter which women's breast it even gets milk from. It could be 20 different women until the programming sets up and says, no, this is your mother. And this is, and then now you're labeling, and I know I'm going off now. And now we're labeling, and now we have expectations of mothers and fathers. The truth is, whatever you experienced as a child, whatever I experienced as a child, has taken me to this point right now. No story behind it. No story needed. And the question becomes, are you able to look in the mirror without anything, look in the mirror and be okay without any titles, accomplishments, in other words, just being yourself? Are you able to be at peace with just you? Just like when you were born, unless you were hungry or, wet. Just like you were born, are you able to be okay with you? That's the ultimate, in my humble opinion. Well, that's the end of today's show. Thank you for listening to Reality Spirituality, the truth about happiness. It's heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website, RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington, LinkedIn handle, and my Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. I have a few videos on YouTube. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon.com. And the second book that I'm writing, Program for Unhappiness, which is, ooh-wee. When I say that it's impossible for you to be offended, who wants to hear that? And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You're always changing, always growing, always evolving. Love is patient, and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist and inner peace practitioner, Rebecca L. Norrington. Have a conscious week. And remember, happiness is a practice skill. Your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Yeah, time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now.